Hello, my amazing fourth graders. Today we are going to be exploring the fabric art of weaving. We're going to be using this smaller loom, but you can see an example of a larger woven pattern that I've done here that I'm still working on completing. But you'll notice how the colors that I've chosen are very purposeful to create a beautiful design as it goes up on the loom. Let's go ahead and talk about our materials. So you'll first have this wooden loom, and I would like for you to please make sure to write your name, class, and number on the back using permanent marker. On the front is where we are going to create our woven pattern. You will have at your table a long bundle of yarn. This has a rubber band on it to keep the yarn from getting tangled. And the way that we access the colors that you would like is just search through, find the color that you would like to begin with, pull that strand, hold the top, and pull it out of the rubber band. With this, we're going to go ahead and begin our project with a simple double knot. Let's review how to begin our double knot. On one of the end strings, you will take the short end of your yarn. So we've got the long end here and the short end here. Make sure the short end goes over top of the long end, under until it goes through the circle. Grab it on this side and pull. To secure it properly, we need to make sure to have a double knot. So again, put the short end over top of the long end, tuck it underneath, into the circle, and pull. If this little extra bothers you, you're welcome to snip it to be just a fingernail's length. Otherwise, you're welcome to leave it and begin your weaving with the long end. The key to success for our weaving is always going under the second string. So I like to hold my loom so that I'm weaving away from my body. When I go under the second string, I use my fingers to kind of twist it under, flicking it up, and then repeating every other string. So I'm going over, under, until I'm able to pull it to the other side. Now, because I'm weaving away from my body, I'm going to go ahead and turn my loom around. This helps me to see which string is the first string and which string is the second string. The second string, underneath, over, under, under, and pull. Let's take a closer look at these two lines of string. You'll notice that they are alternating. So we have under the string on this line, but on the next one it goes over. This creates our woven pattern. This is something that we have practiced before using both paper and yarn in previous years. So again, the tip for success here is under the second string. Oftentimes students will forget to turn their loom so that they are weaving away from their body, and they get confused which one is the second string. Now, with the amount of string that I have left here, I like to leave myself a lot of extra string. I'm ready to put on the next color. So again, take your bundle of yarn, choose a color that purposefully goes next to the color that you've already gone with, or maybe create a repeating pattern. I think I'm going to choose this warm purple. And now what we need to do is create a friendship knot to be able to continue our yarn all the way up our loom. Let's review how to create a friendship knot, which is something that we have used this skill in previous projects throughout our time in art. It's called a friendship knot because the two pieces of yarn sit next to each other like best friends. They love to do everything together. So they're sitting next to each other, and now they are going to go ahead and create the knot together like friends. If you struggle with knot tying, try to do it just like me, where the strings are resting on your table, not up in the air. before going ahead and taking these short ends, tucking them under the circle and through. Now, an expert tip for knot tying is instead of pulling both ends of the string tight, try to encourage your knot towards the end by only touching the knot and pulling it towards the ends of our little tail strings here. This will help you to maximize the yarn that you are using and not needing to use your scissors at all to snip off those ends. So I've got my friendship knot, and now instead of this string being my end that I'm using to do my weaving, now I have a new long end in the purple string, and I'm able to continue my pattern for as long as I can tie on new strings, remembering to go under the second string and under, over, until we get to the other side. When you're pulling that knot through, pull all the way until it is tight, but one thing we don't want to do is pull too tight so that our strings get a little bit too tense. Now it's starting to curve in on my loom. This may create some trickiness for me with identifying which one is my second string, especially if I'm pulling so tight that the first string is starting to get in the way of that second string. So, boys and girls, keep it loose and continue with just a gentle pull after each new thread. Okay, boys and girls, so please remember that you need to begin with a double knot on the first string, and then after that, all of the strings need to be tied with friendship knots until you have completed your weaving all the way to the top of your loom. Start with your name class number, and you may begin.